Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look again at Near Protocol, kind of see what's going on with it, and help us understand big picture and best practice. And of course, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, I really just love teaching people how to trade, and I hope you can learn something here today. Of course, my goal and my passion is to help you become a better trader. So CryptoCache.tech if you want to become a community member, learn from my trading academy, and benefit from the signals that I send for every single trade that I take. It's fully automated as well if you'd like to one-click follow. Take a look here at Near Protocol. So big picture, let's start with that first of all. We got a couple of things that we need to acknowledge. Not necessarily the elephant in the room, but the potential momentum has shifted from bullish to bearish according to the MACD, moving average convergence divergence on the 1 day. But I wouldn't put a lot of weight into that because that doesn't necessarily matter when you have this ascending type of trend line. And if we can see here, just to pay attention to this here, you can see this trend line is continuing to just maintain itself, right? So yes, it came up here, kind of got further away, came down, tested here. It tested here as well, again recently, previously, and initially. So the more often you test a trend line, the more likely it is to continue. That's kind of the opposite effect of a support and resistance level in that sense, but generally speaking here, this is kind of reaffirming the fact that we're in this ascending trend, and it'll continue to make higher lows until it breaks its either a key level resistance or to the downside. Hasn't proven to break to the downside yet, and it wants to continue to break upwards. So if we see this here, this nice strong this nice strong resistance level right here at about 18.2 or 1830 as a round number, that is probably going to be the key level resistance we need to break through, and it looks like it wants to do that. Okay, so again, very, very good stuff here in that sense. Near Protocol is looking very nice. We can see we're not overextended. We're staying over 50, but under 70 on the RSI, which is healthy. So all in all, I say more positive than negative, of course, based on the simple fact that we have these this nice continuation pattern. It's consistently making higher lows, and it hasn't proven to break its trend line yet. Same thing with Bitcoin as well. We need to kind of honor the fact that it's maintaining its trend line, and the likelihood of it continuing higher until it breaks that trend line is still there. Okay, we're still making higher lows. Looking at the 4 hour, we can probably see here that we're testing the 50-day simple moving average, which is pretty standard considering the circumstances. So I would just say in general, nothing to really worry too much about. The likelihood of it breaking back above is still fairly high, continuing this trend line, if you will. So as long as we maintain that 1 day trend line, or the 1 day candlestick close above that trend line, we're going to be just fine. So keep that in mind. We also got the 200-day traveling just behind us here as well, right around $13.50. So heaven forbid the price were to kind of retrace and consolidate, we could see 13.2 as a close approximate of a support level if the price were to have to come back down there and potentially bounce. Okay, don't think that would happen, but that is still a potential scenario. But one thing that's good here is right around $14 is a close approximate. That was kind of a previous all-time high retest, or not all-time high, but more recent high, and that was tested a couple of times. So just keep that in mind too. That could be part of this as well. So just note that that could factor in as a nice support too. So I think $14 is probably the likely bottom for Near if it were to retrace, but I think it's showing its true colors here today. Yes, it retraced when Bitcoin retraced too, but not quite as significant as most other coins, and it's also bouncing and recovering a lot faster than other ones as well. So again, Near Protocol is looking much better overall, which is par for the course for this coin, all things considered. RSI, we're back up over 50 tentatively. I say tentative because obviously it's testing the key level resistance at 50 on the simple moving average. Oftentimes you'll see the 50-day SMA and 50 on the RSI work concurrently, so it's kind of a double resistance. But again, it's still ascending positively and bouncing back a lot better. So if Bitcoin can have a slight recovery, in other words, recover to 40,700 and break that resistance level, maybe even trend closer to 42,000, then we're definitely going to see Near Protocol continue to maintain itself. If Bitcoin struggles, we could see some sideways action from Near, because as we can see here, even though Bitcoin's been struggling, it's still maintained a pretty good, healthy, higher price than most. Again, no guarantees, but the likelihood of it maintaining this price point seems to be pretty consistent, which is why it's also maintaining its current, progression to the upside, based on the simple sentiment that it's not getting overly corrected when Bitcoin corrects itself. Okay, so that's a good sign. That's really, really something you want to look at and identify in altcoins. And Near is definitely exuding that. So I would confidently say right now, Near is like one of my top 5 coins or picks, along with Luna and a few others, that are just going to continue to maintain a very strong price point and to not likely retrace very significant if Bitcoin were to correct itself. Okay. That being said, let's take a sequential on the 1 hour. We can really see here, all in all, nothing too crazy. We're kind of just hitting 6 and 5s, and then again a 7 here recently. So there's not much to really, not much to really extract from that. But what we can see here is that we are breaking back above the cloud. This is a very positive sign. You don't see a lot of coins actually doing this right now, and the sense that it kind of broke above, comes down, now it's consolidating as a support, implies that right around 1628, close to where the price action is at right now, is a nice little support channel there created by the cloud. So at this point, the cloud is basically telling us we have all green lights here to keep our long position open if you have one. So don't close anything, of course. Maybe consider taking profits here in about 24 hours if the lagging span were to intersect and the price doesn't continue much higher. But generally speaking, for right now, we want to leave our position open and just maintain a long position if you have one. Okay. But all in all, very, very good stuff here from Near. I see nothing really truly adverse. It does look like it wants to continue to maintain and pick up and move forward. So, again, until it breaks through this trend line, we got to expect the price to continue to maintain a higher price point consistently throughout the weeks. So at this rate, we should see $18.28 broken within the next week. That's roughly what would happen as long as this continued trend line occurs. If we lose this trend line, maybe a different story. I wouldn't say we're in dire straits either because we're still making higher lows. I would say as long as the next low isn't lower than the previous low, which is around 15.20, should probably still be in good shape, even if we lose this trend line. So again, all good stuff here from Near Protocol. Really awesome. I think that it will likely hit our profit target of $20 as a swing trade that we have as a community, but also will break its all-time high and start making that price discovery or creating its own price action once we get to that resistance level and break through it. All right. So again, all good stuff here. So this gives me this. If I have a stamp of approval, Near Protocol would be one of them. Okay, so just know I feel like it's a good coin that will continue to progress positively and has done very well so far. That being said, thank you so much for joining me here. I really hope you did learn something, of course. If you want to learn more, CryptoCache.tech is the website, link in the description below. Become a trader, a better trader, of course, with myself and my trading academy. And I share signals, too, for every single trade that I take. And it's a really awesome experience. So be sure to check that out in your own time. I do greatly appreciate you. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.